Hey, hey! Today we're digging into something that's actually come up a lot lately, both in private coaching conversations and my mastermind group, and it is the question, what exactly do you mean when you say grow your business without social media? And you know what? It is a great question because let's be real, social media is such a loaded term right now. For some of us, it's how we started our businesses. For others, it's the very thing that's holding us back from fully showing up. And then platforms like Pinterest and YouTube get thrown into the mix and we're like, wait, are those social media too? So today I want to give you a clear breakdown of what I do and don't consider social media, and even more importantly, why that distinction matters to how you grow your business, your brand, and your faith. Because here's the thing. When you clarify your strategy, you build confidence. And when you remove the noise, you can finally hear what God's actually calling you to do. All right, so let's start by unpacking this word, social media. What is it and why does it matter? Now, I'm not going to give you the dictionary definition. This is more about how I use the term in my teaching and coaching. And when I say social media, I'm referring to platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, X, formerly known as Twitter, and platforms like that. Platforms where content is fleeting. Here today, gone tomorrow. It's designed to keep people on the platform scrolling endlessly. Now, you might create a really good post, a thoughtful carousel, or even a vulnerable reel. And if people don't see it in the first 24 to 48 hours, it vanishes into the void. You feel like you have to show up daily just to stay relevant. And friend, that is exhausting, especially for those of us trying to run a business while raising a family, while stewarding our homes, and just trying to keep laundry off the couch. Am I right? Or am I right? Now, I have been there. I've ridden that content hamster wheel. I've lost so much time trying to be consistent on platforms that were never designed to build depth or sustainability. That's why I teach a different way now. So now let's flip the coin. What platforms aren't social media in the way we just talked about? Here's the surprising truth for many people. I don't consider Pinterest or YouTube or podcasting to be social media. Why? Because they aren't designed around engagement. They're built on search and discovery. These platforms are evergreen, meaning when someone types in a question like, how do I set goals as a Christian entrepreneur? Or simple routines for working parents, they can find your content months or even years after you've posted it. I'll give you a real example. Now, I don't do a whole lot of Pinterest in my business, but I used to. And some of the pins that I created 5 years ago are still my top pins today when I get the little report about what is doing well and circulating on Pinterest. That's the power of evergreen platforms. And when I say grow your business without social media, I'm talking about this approach. It's not about disappearing. It's about being strategic in the content you create. So we talked about that fleeting content of the social media platforms and the evergreen content of some you might have thought were social media. Let's dig into this contrast just a little bit more because this is where the shift happens. On social platforms, content is short-lived. It's designed to generate fast reactions, likes, shares, comments, DMs. You need to post often to stay visible. It rewards volume and speed, not depth. And I know when I was on there and I posted something, I wanted to go in and see who was liking and felt like I needed to comment as soon as someone else commented. And that led to burnout. Evergreen platforms, on the other hand, give you breathing room. You create one quality piece of content, a blog post, a podcast episode, a YouTube video, a Pinterest pin, and it has a long shelf life. It gets better with time. It allows people to discover you on their own terms. That's what I love about it. It's aligned with a biblical principle of sowing and reaping. You sow faithfully, and God brings the harvest in His timing. Galatians 6:9 says, let us not grow weary in well-doing, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. That's how I view evergreen content. You plant the seed, you water it, and then you let it go. You trust that it will bear fruit, even if you don't see it immediately. And sometimes that evergreen content does take 6 to 9 to 12 months to gain traction, which is why social media platforms are appealing because it's vanity metrics. You can see a like pretty early on. You can see a comment really fast. But is it making traction? Is it leading to a sale? Is it moving your business forward, right? So we talked a little bit about what is social media and what isn't social media. But what can growing without social include? This is important because when people hear no social media, they often assume that means I only do grassroots marketing. Are you going door to door? Do you do coffee shop networking? Like, what is it that you do then? And I'm like, well, not exactly. Word of mouth and community are amazing. I love in-person connection when I can make it work. But my approach also includes things like, and actually more so include things like email marketing, which is still one of the highest converting tools out there. It is my nurture tool. SEO, search engine optimization. I know Google made a lot of different changes recently, but SEO is actually working for me because I have worked it for a while here now. And so people can find me by just searching a topic, a keyword that I talk about. Collaborating in conferences or podcast guesting are some of my favorite ways to grow without social media because I get a connection with others and I also get to add value to someone else's audience. And then also reusing content across multiple evergreen platforms. I do not recommend this starting out though. If you're starting out, if you're a solopreneur, don't think you have to be everywhere. Pick one place and grow it well. But sometimes I will take a podcast episode and create it here on YouTube. Sometimes I will take a YouTube video and create an email out of it. Or maybe if it's a really good, meaty episode, I will turn a podcast episode into a blog post so people can find it in written form. All of these are ways to grow without relying on the algorithm to like you that day, right? Like that is the issue. Does the algorithm like what you posted? Is it going to promote you? Is it going to boost you? Or is what you said going to fall flat? Because here's the truth. You don't need a massive audience to build meaningful impact. You just need to show up consistently in the places where your message has space to be heard and remembered. So where is that for you? I want to turn the mic toward you now. What platforms are you currently using in your business? Are they creating more freedom or just feeding pressure and performance? Have you ever thought about Pinterest or YouTube as evergreen tools? I'd love for you to take this week to reflect, maybe even journal with the Lord and ask Him, where are you calling me to sow right now? What platforms are good stewardship of my time and energy? What platforms should I maybe release and not use any longer? So let's wrap up with some key reminders. When I say grow without social, I'm referring to stepping off the constant content hamster wheel of platforms like Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. Platforms like Pinterest or YouTube are search-based and evergreen. They don't require your constant presence. You can still show up meaningfully, strategically, and faithfully, just without the overwhelm. And this is about creating space for God to move instead of trying to manufacture your own momentum. Isaiah 30:15 reminds us, in repentance and rest is your salvation. In quietness and trust is your strength. Friend, your strategy doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. Sometimes the most fruitful thing you can do is slow down, simplify, and trust God with the growth. Trusting God and waiting on Him doesn't mean just sitting there. It means doing the things, but doing them with strategy and with ease and with Him leading the way. And if you want ongoing encouragement, coaching, and real accountability to build your business God's way, not the world's way, then consider joining us inside the Red Hot Accountability Club. You will be welcomed with open arms, and we have so much fun inside. Go check it out at redhotmindset.com/RHA. And until next time, in all things I pray, you just run your race. I believe in you.